Welcome to the Once and Future Authors Podcast. I'm Stephanie, and I'm so delighted today to be joined by Katrina Sawa. Katrina is a very, very busy author and the head of JumpStart Your Biz Now. We were just talking when you see her about all the books behind her, and there are 4 more coming out this year. So we better get started with Katrina. Thank you so much for joining me. Laughing already. I love that. Thank you so much. Wow. 4 more books. Look at all those books behind you and 4 more coming out.
Yeah, there's 6 on this side and 6 on that side. You can't even see them all. I know. My husband needs to build more shelves.
Let's get him on that. So tell us a little bit first about JumpStart Your Biz.
Yeah, so I started 19 years ago this summer, my own business back, right? I left my corporate job and said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to help entrepreneurs grow their business and get clients and all that. So I started really as marketing consultant, getting clients on retainer, doing stuff for them. And then I was working really hard at that. And then I learned, there's other ways you could do that. And you could do different coaching and group programs. And I'm like, so I evolved my business to that. And now you just keep evolving your business into what it morphs into be. And today it's more of a bigger picture, like business coaching. Pretty much I look at everything someone's doing, because just looking at the marketing leaves out the back end systems and the technology and the delegating and what you're selling. And your mindset, and you have to have someone looking at all of that in order to find those holes and opportunities to make more money and get more clients and stop working so hard. So I look at a lot of different things, and along the way, now we have events, we have online trainings. I started doing some web design, and we have virtual techie services. And then a year ago, I started JumpStart Publishing. So now we publish books and help people with compilations and stuff. So I feel really full. Like I have a big team too. Thankfully, it's not just me. Like that would be craziness, but that's how I kind of grew the business along the years. And it's just super fun. I just love it.
You know what I love is that so many of people and many of our listeners today, I'm sure, don't see that you can grow and go from one thing to another. They're kind of here and they're saying, I'm working 1,000,000 hours. It's like treading water, but I can't take on more work because I'm just so darn busy with all the work that I'm doing. But you had a vision for scaling up and bigger and morphing into something else. And now you're sharing that vision with other people. Just so
well, yes, but it's really funny. I never had a vision for all of this. I never did. Like you don't know, like I never even wanted to become an author. Like I had no dream of becoming an author ever when I started my business. I just wanted to help people with practical, tactical things to grow their business and make more money and get more clients. That was it. That was all I had initially in my brain on what I was doing. And then just through what I learned and all the things I invested in, the trainings, the mentors, the masterminds, the conferences I went to, the people I learned from just opened my mind to what else is possible. When you don't learn like that, you don't see what else is possible. When you just know what you know and that's it, and you just don't know what you don't know. And so I just kept learning and growing and learning and growing and learning and growing. And then my interests and my visions changed along the way. So and I didn't know how to do it all. I had to get help. So you can't just say, well, I have this vision, but I don't know how to get there. Well, I'm just going to sit here and wait until I figure it out. Well, that's just silly. Like get help. Like,
yeah. And what a great nugget of wisdom you just said, which is learning.
Yes.
Keep learning. So many people are really kind of stuck. They know what they know. They keep doing what they're doing, but they didn't do the 2 things that you mentioned right now. One was learning and one was getting help. And those 2 things, you're not going to be able to have this kind of vision and scale bigger and jumpstart your business unless you're learning and unless you enlist some more help with what you're doing.
Yeah. It's just, and I've invested over $250,000, frankly, in the last 19 years. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. I didn't do it all at once, but I invest in big chunks because of the faith that I have in myself.
Good
And
for
a
you.
lot of people don't have that confidence and faith that 110%, I know I'm meant to do this. I just have to figure out how and what to do to get there. They have too much doubt and lack of self-confidence. And so we have to change that. You have to figure out how to change that and get that confidence and faith so that you can just keep going.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you mentioned that about investing in yourself and investing in your business. You're right. Too many people are scared, or they lack the confidence, or they don't see that that investment's going to pay off. And you're here to say, yeah, you have to, that saying, you have to spend money to make money. You have to invest in yourself and in your learning and in your business so that you learn things. We don't all come complete knowing stuff.
I like to say the universe isn't just going to put it all into your brain and one day you'll know it all. Like that's just not going to happen.
Right, right. Well, with all of those investments and time and learning, I'm guessing it was masterminds and books and programs and courses and anything like that. Any that you want to highlight for us that were especially helpful?
Well, the first coach that I hired was a lot like what I do now for clients, which is the practical, tactical, what you need to do to get clients. I think everybody needs someone like that because most people are just not, don't ever get to $100,000 business or don't ever get to what I call their need number, right? So there's a need number and a want number. What you need every month to come in on a regular basis so that you can pay your bills and not take out of savings, and you can actually put a little bit away for retirement or savings or travel or whatnot. And you can pay an assistant or two or three to help you run the business more effectively so you can grow. So your need number needs to include all of that, not just your electric bill and your cell phone. It needs to include the things that you need to be a more successful entrepreneur. Then when you get to that need number, which usually for people is around somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. That's what they need usually, that I've found. And then the want number is usually double or triple or quadruple that, right? So we want a lot more, but you got to get to the need number first, and then we can double it from there, and so on and so on. And it's a gradual thing. Your confidence is going to grow gradually. And as you grow your confidence, you'll grow your price tags and you'll grow your cash flow. So
Awesome. And huge thing that you just said, so important, is that we need, everyone, a business coach. People are not even in that mindset. Tell me a little bit more about what somebody should be looking for. Well, first of all, why, and you gave some of those, why you need a business coach, but what you should look for, because I think you're so right about that. And people are not making that first investment in themselves.
right. And really, it's not just because I am a business coach is why I'm telling you that. It's because it's the most logical thing to do. If
Absolutely.
you're going to go and become an attorney, you can't just walk into a courtroom and start trying a case, right? You have to go to law school. You have to learn the business of law. And then usually you have to get a job. Like some people start their own practice, but you have to learn that, right? Now they don't even teach you in law school how to run your own practice and get clients either. So if you wanted to do that, that's an additional training. Just like if you wanted to become a nurse, you couldn't walk into a hospital and start poking people with needles. You would have to go to nursing school. But the entrepreneurs think they can print a business card or put up a Wix website and boop, I'm going to make $100,000 now because I'm an entrepreneur. You don't know the business of entrepreneurship. So you need to go to entrepreneur school, which is what I do is more, that's the everything and how it all flows together. All business coaches are not created equal. All marketing people, some people just focus on how to create a course online. Well, that's just one piece of the entire pie. And that is not necessarily, I mean, I can teach you how to do a course, but you got to know how to run a business, because if you don't have anybody that's following you or on your email list or on your social media, nobody's buying the course, right? So like there's too many things to know and too many hats to wear that there's no way you're going to know that coming off from corporate or a stay-at-home mom. You need to learn the business of being in business.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so valuable that you said that and broke it down for people. And that takes a lot of pressure off people. You weren't born knowing how to do this. Most people did not go to school knowing how to do this. That's why you're getting a business coach. That's why you're investing in your business in the realm of surrounding yourself with experts and people who know things and taking their courses, their coaching, things like that, so that you can grow.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that you will waste money on too. So be careful. There's a lot of people out there that are really great at marketing and it looks like the right thing, but then it's not. So it's,
Any,
you have to really be intuitive these days to feel out the right people and not just get bright, shiny object. Oh, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that. Just really, get a few different opinions, I think,
right,
and do your due diligence in homework and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, no, any tips on how to avoid those or how to see a red flag?
Well, like sometimes I talk to people and they've never heard of me, like, and they find me, right? And I'm like, well, I know you don't know me, you just met me. How about if I share 3 or 4 people that you could actually have a conversation with that have worked with me? And so people don't do that in this digital age. They don't do that. They just trust a web page. They pay, and then they may or may not get what they need. So ask for referrals, ask for actual humans that people can talk to, not just visual testimonials that frankly anybody could put up on their website, right? So yeah.
I'm so glad you said that because you're absolutely right. Anyone can build a website and it could look bright and shiny, but check things out, check people's references, call up people that they have worked with, make sure that those people are your people.
Yeah,
They,
be proof.
and I'm
Just
sure
like,
that there are lots of great people out there too, but not everybody is great for everybody.
right, there's different personalities. I'm pretty blunt in your face, like I don't let people get away with excuses. So if you want a business coach that's just going to do whatever you think you need to do, I'm like, that's not me. I'm going to give you a variety of options, but we're going to strategize stuff, but I'm not going to like let you make up excuses. We're going to work through that, because otherwise you'll never get anywhere.
Now, if someone is just getting started, they are like listening to this saying, you are so right. The scales have fallen from my eyes. I need help. I need to get started. I see 2 shelves full of books back there. What should we be starting with?
As far as a book goes, like what to buy for a book, well, I actually happen to have the perfect book for that, which
Okay.
is my Jumpstart Your New Business Now book.
Oh, okay.
So
JumpStart
it
Your
just happens to be the perfect book for a new business, and it's actually good for a lot of current businesses too, because a lot of them are not doing all the things in the book. So it's a lot about the marketing and the lead gen and the follow up and the sales process. Practical, tactical stuff. If you are stuck on your mindset or you have unsupportive people, a lot of us, I find that about 60% of my clients usually come to me with unsupportive people in their lives. Either the significant other is not so supportive, or the sister or the mother-in-law or somebody. And so the other book that I have, Love Yourself Successful, is about getting rid of toxic people, or at least putting a bubble around yourself so you can really protect your entrepreneurial energy, because we need to stay motivated and positive. We can't have that negative stuff coming in. There's that. And also it helps you increase your confidence to charge what you're worth and go for things sooner than later. And so that book's really good for that.
Oh, so important. You're so right that people are not supported. That so many people say, oh, what are you going to do if it fails? Or I hope you have a backup plan. Or I hope this is just not supported. And that's so hard for someone who really is putting themselves out there day after day and not getting the support they need at home. So love yourself successful. You can love yourself right into getting that book, because that'll help. But back to your first book, I loved something you said about starting your new business. Katrina, you said that there are many established businesses that kind of skipped a lot of those steps there. So even if you are not a brand new business, you might already be in business, and good for you if you've been managing for the past 5 years or so. But if you skipped all those steps, if some of those things that you just said, like if the word lead generation made you sit back and wonder, I wonder what that means, you're still a new business, aren't you?
You are. I have a 3-year entrepreneur evolution plan, and a lot of times think it's only for new business owners. But a lot of times I'll get a business owner who's been in business for 10 years and they might be making $100,000, but they're tied to their business and they're the only person in it. And their website is like 7 years old. So they're lacking technology. They're lacking the really engagement for online. They can't take a vacation because if they take a vacation, they lose revenue, right? So they're not leveraged. And so we need to start from scratch really and reevaluate where they're at, where they want to go, because they probably have a different vision than when they got into business 10 years ago. They just wanted to fill their practice. Well, now they have a full practice, and now what? Now life sucks because they have no life, right? So a lot of times I see this. And so we have to reimagine their business to fit the lifestyle they have or want now, and then do things differently and revamp the business. And it's kind of like starting fresh in a way. So I have a lot of clients like that. And it's never too late to revamp what you're doing and change what you're doing to get the lifestyle that you want. And that's why we started the business in the first place.
Yeah, what a green light you just gave people. That if you're here and you're saying, yeah, I have a successful business or a practice, we're busy, we have tons and tons of clients, but yet you're working 30 hours a day, you can never take a vacation, and you don't have the life that you dreamt of, you're not stuck there. There are ways of taking this success, and good for you, that is success. But
Yes.
it's not the success that you wanted. You have successful, maybe even, fully monetized, but there are ways of moving that to a new level and a new place so that you can have what you just said, the life that you want.
Yeah, it's so
That's
important.
awesome. Tell me a little bit about your writing process. Obviously, with so many books under your belt, you must have some sort of a process. Do you like imagine your reader? Are you a typer or a dictator? Like, get us into like the whole writing thing.
I do it all actually. So my best ideas come in the shower or when I'm getting ready. I don't know about you, but like I almost started a podcast one time that was called Ideas from the Shower, because they wouldn't stop. Like I would have ideas for content development, for books, for videos, and for all my clients too. Like, oh, you need to do this. And so, yeah, sometimes when I'm getting ready, I have my cell phone and I'll talk into an email to myself. Because
Okay.
when I text into an email, then I can send it to myself and boom, it's written, right? I don't use the dictation software. I'm techie, but I don't want a bunch of apps. So I do it the simple way. So I do it that simple way. And so usually I'm talking articles for newsletters and blogs and stuff like that. I don't talk out a whole book or anything that way. But I'm a writer. So like when I wrote Love Yourself Successful, it took me 3 years to conceptualize it. Right. And I went to workshops and I actually put on a 3-day event to hopefully help me get the content out for the book, because it was going to be very similar to the event. Still didn't work. And then one day it just kind of downloaded. And in 4 days, I wrote that book in 2 weekends in a row. So, it comes to me like that. When it comes to me, I just have to sit and I have to clear my schedule and, get it out. And
Well, that podcast from the shower, that could have been quite the thing, especially if you did it in the shower.
Ideas from the shower. I got a lot of men commenting like, I'll watch that. I'm like,
No, you
no,
did. No, no, no,
I
no,
should
no.
rethink this. Yeah.
Audio only.
I have a friend who has a podcast called The Naked Podcaster. And she would literally do her show naked, like from the waist up and with her microphone in her, like blocking things. It's really funny.
Oh my gosh. I love
I know,
that.
right?
I love that. But you're so right. Many times our ideas do not come when we're sitting there with a blank piece of paper in front of us.
No.
They come when we're driving or in the shower or something like that. I am so glad you said what you did about sending voice emails to yourself. I tell my own clients that all the time. This way, when you get back to your desk, you have a whole stack of emails addressed to you, and now you can use that text, just copy and paste it. And I'm with you. I can't deal with it's on the app, it's on the phone. How do I get it to the computer? I don't know. Your method, so much better. Just send an email to yourself with a voice to text. Awesome.
I'm all about systems and simplicity and productivity. So I find the easiest, simple way for me, and every client's different, right? So most of my clients are not that techie. So I have to find a really simple ways for them to do things. Yeah.
And then when technology crashes, it wasn't a big deal. And it will crash. That's
right.
for sure. Now, you said Love Yourself Successful. You were germinating it for 3 years. And again, this is a huge green light for people. 3 years thinking much, but then poof, all of those sparks fell into place and you wrote it in 2 weekends.
Yes. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was spring too. So it was beautiful out. And I'm looking out the window and I'm like, I want to go outside and play. I want to go out with my friends. Nope, I got to write the book. Blah, blah, blah. So I like just turned off my blinders and I put my blinders on.
What I love about your saying it in that way, so many people would have forced that book out, let's say after 2.5 years. And then it might be a lousy book, or it might have taken them, 8 months of grueling, to get it out. But because you thought about it and waited until it's almost like a fine wine, when it was ready, it poured out of you. And I hear that from a lot of authors. When it's ready, it pours out of you.
Yes, and while that is sounds amazing and like the perfect process, these days I would not do it that way. That was 9 years ago. These days I would say, hurry up and get your book done so we can get another book out, so we can get another book out, and so you can get speaking gigs and publicity, and it can actually grow your business. So I would say it completely different.
Okay.
Because I see too many people that have been waiting to get their book done. And it's like, all it needs usually is someone looking at it and looking at some of the content, asking a few questions of you about your life or whatever it is you're talking about, and saying, oh, well, you need a section on this, you need a section on that, you need a section on that, you need this, and then put it in this order, move this over here, and then add this on the front, add that on the back, and boom, your book's done. Let's go. Right. Let's go.
Let's
Right.
go. And also,
So,
let's not assume that book number one has to be the most glorious thing. Like if you're,
yeah.
you have all these books behind you, I'm guessing that you're getting better.
Well, a lot of these are compilation books, right? So compilation books are very popular these days, and it's where, you get anywhere from 10 to 40 people writing a chapter. But I have journals too. I have a journal where I just wrote a little blurb and then it's in a journal. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can get published these days and have a book. I was on TV with my first book. My first book, Power and Soul, was with Allie Brown back in 2006. It was a compilation book. I think there was 20 of us or something. And when it first came out, I got on my local TV station because I did publicity around it. I did press release and I got on TV. And so you can't wait to get the book done. It wasn't even my own book. I just wrote a chapter, right? So, I mean, if you want, it depends what your goals are in your business. If you want to be an author, and that's really what your goal is, you want to write a series of books, especially fiction or something. If you're a fiction author, it's different. You want to be a fiction author, but you still have to build the business around the books because they're not just going to sell themselves, right? You need a website, a following, maybe a fan page, maybe some events to get the fans to come. You might want to, so you need sales pages, you need to do all kinds of things. But compilation books are a great way to get published quickly while you're writing that other book. So you still have books coming out, you still get speaking gigs and publicity and things like that.
Oh, I'm so glad you're talking about the benefits of a book, because there are so many ways that a book can springboard someone's business with speaking engagements and all those things. But I think inwardly, I know you're a big person about mindset. And there's nothing quite like holding that book in your hand with your name on the bottom for confidence. Isn't that true?
Totally. It will give you more confidence in getting clients, in getting out there, talking about yourself. It really does help your confidence. And I always say there's like 4 benefits of really having a book. One is visibility, where you can get seen as an industry expert. 2 is bookability, right? Getting booked more as a speaker to grow your business. And credibility, being trusted by prospects faster, having the credibility, and or either just having the book or getting publicity. And then impactability. Impactability is getting your message out to the masses, or at least enough of the people that really need to hear your message.
Awesome. Awesome. I love all of that. And you're so right. Those 4 abilities.
I made some of those words up, I think. Like,
Oh,
bookability. I don't know if bookability is a word.
bookability. Yeah, they're good words. And every business, whether somebody is, a professional or an entrepreneur, whatever they are, every business can use those 4 abilities, shall we say.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I can't think of anybody who couldn't use all of those, and definitely needs a book to get started. So what would you say if you were with somebody brand new to this process and they're like, wow, you're right, Katrina, I need to be writing a book. How do I start? What do those first steps look like?
Well, first you have to figure out what kind of book you want to write. Do you want to hurry up and get one done so that you have something? Or do you want to write? So a quick book would be like a tip book or a quote book. So everybody, like not everybody, but if you're in business, you probably are sharing advice or teaching something, right? And you could probably come up with 20 to 100 tips depending. Like I have a client who did a book on 52 tips on LinkedIn strategies. And so it's this little square book, even it's just little tips on each page. Not that hard to get the content out. You probably already have it written in blog posts and videos that you've done already. And that would be a fast book to get done, right? So get that done while you do your storybook, I call it. Your storybook is the one that the transformational book that we want to share what happened to us, right? Or do your system book. The system book is my Jumpstart Your Business Now book. It's the book that I actually had a training called Jumpstart Your Biz in 90 days. It was a 3-month, 12-week training course that I did live with people for 3 years. I just kept doing it every couple times a year. And it was $4,000 when I did the training, and people would pay that and then do the training. And then I boxed it up and put it on my website for sale as a do-it-yourself course. And that was $2,000. And then I said, oh my God, I just need to get my system book done. So I transcribed that and I had an assistant take out all the fluffy stuff, right? And then I went through it all and cleaned it up into the book it is now. And now it sells for like $16.95. Hello, like, right? And so, I mean, it could be simple. I did that in just a few months to get that process done. So those are just 3. There's a dozen or so different types of books you could write, depending on what kind of, yeah. So that's
I love this. Is instead of sitting there, in front of a blank piece of paper and just feeling overwhelmed, to think about the type of book that you want to write. And some of them, the way you're describing, are a lot easier to write and, kind of, I don't want to say write themselves, but certainly a lot easier than others that might be much more involved. And there's nothing wrong with any of them. The way you're describing it, it sounds like that person should kind of acknowledge that they're not going to write just one. And if you know you're going to write more than one, that actually, I don't think rather than give somebody more pressure, I think it actually takes the pressure off, because sometimes when we think there's only going to be one, we think that one has to be like Pulitzer Prize winning kind of example.
Yeah, and or 300 pages, which nobody wants to read, right? Nobody wants to read a 300-page book.
Exactly. But if you kind of go into it saying, okay, I have heard all of the illities, I've heard all of this, I know that I need to immediately start investing in myself and my business. I need a book, and this is not going to be my last book. So I need a book tomorrow. It's going to be this kind, or I need a book that's going to be able to show me off in this way. So I need this kind, and recognizing this is not your one chance. If we think it's our one chance, people are like, shove it all into the book, right?
Yeah. And they wait forever and ever and ever to launch the book. And another thing to do to hurry up and get your book done is to start pre-selling it. So my Love Yourself Successful, it was taking so long. I just started pre-selling it. I put the mock cover on a page and I started pre-selling it. And I think I had 100 sales or something. And it took me 6 months to get it done. And it was like killing me because I had these people who've already paid to get it. And there's only one complaining person that's like, I bought this book, like, nah. And I just wanted to give her like $16 back, right? Because just to shut up and leave me alone, because I'll get it done when I get it done. But you can pre-sell it, and then it kind of lights a fire under you, knowing people are waiting for it and they've already paid for it, and it'll get done faster. Like, let's just
awesome. Nothing like pressure,
right?
Guilt and pressure go a long way, folks. Yeah. That's for sure. And I bet that woman, when she finally got her book, was happy you didn't just give her $16 back.
I don't know. She did not leave me a review.
Leave your review. Well, if she happens to be listening to this podcast, go leave a review. That book was written on just for you to get that timetable out. Well, you've been an absolute delight. Can you leave us with some final tips on what we should do? Because so many people are right now saying, I got to get started yesterday.
Stop waiting. And literally the compilation books can be a really great thing. So I have a dozen friends who do compilation books. They're all different genre, different themes, and styles of books. So if you just want to get published sooner than later while you're working on your own book, then reach out and I can maybe point you in the right direction. I do one too every year called JumpStart Your Blank, where you would tell your story, or you teach something, jumpstart your sales, whatever it is you teach in your business, you write the chapter about. So it doesn't matter. I mean, do something. And by the way, if you have a pretty good audience, doing a compilation book in your brand with your people is a very good income stream. You can make $20,000 to $40,000 in your business by doing your own compilation book and gathering authors and monetizing that. So people don't think about that. It can be really,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And for any of you who are wondering what to do next, well, I think the first thing you should do, head over to jumpstartyourbiznow.com and you can find out about all of this stuff. But yes, don't wait, or as Nike says, just do it. Get out there, get writing, get started, grow your business. You have been such an inspiration today. What a pleasure to have you on our show. And I hope that our people leave you a review and say, wow, she lit a fire under me. That's for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And to all of our listeners out there, happy writing.